So we saw the asexual and sexual reproduction differences. But what are the sexual reproduction? How does it take place in a plant? We have to understand that starting from an organism like plant. The plant are the green plants. Where is the reproductive part present? Which parts of the plant are responsible for reproduction? So in a plant, you all have seen flowers. So flowers are actually the functional unit responsible for reproduction. When I say functional unit, means the flower is acting as a unit which has various functions involved for the sexual reproduction of plants. I have drawn a diagram of longitudinal section of a flower. If you take a shoe flower, that if you hibiscus, that's also called as hibiscus or a shoe flower. Take a flower and just cut it longitudinally like this. You will see inside all these parts. The shoe flower or the any flower contains male reproductive organs and female reproductive organs. Obviously, if the fertilization has to take place sexually, then there should be two types of cells, one male cell and female cell. But which part are called as the male reproductive organs and which part are called the female reproductive organs? Here I am going to tell you about one part at a time. We'll start with the female reproductive organ. The female reproductive organ basically have three parts. One is stigma, second is style, and third is ovary. The ones which I have tick marked are actually the female reproductive organs. In a flower, there are always two parts, the female reproductive organs and the male reproductive organs. So in a flower, this stigma, the style and this ovary are the three parts of female reproductive organs. Stigma is having a head-like structure which receives the pollen grain. So from where it is receiving the pollen grains? It can receive the pollen grains through pollination. The pollination we are going to study later, but pollination is done by insects, by honeybees, by air, by water. So the pollen grains, which are the male reproductive organs, they come and settle down on the head of the female reproductive organ, that is called as stigma. And this stigma is also called the receptor of the pollen grain. So this is the first part. Second part is style. The pipe-like structure you can see, the small tube or the pipe-like structure which carries this pollen grains is called the style. There is only one function for it. Style carries the pollen tube which is growing inside. Inside the pollen tube, there will be a male cells which are coming down through the pollen grains. So second part is style. Third part of female reproductive organ is this swollen part down. You can see this part which I am describing, stigma, style, and this is the ovary. The ovary is a swollen part which is at the base of the flower. This swollen part is consisting of number of ovules, and each ovule contain an egg. That means the egg cell. So these three forms the female reproductive organs. What are these egg cells involved in? Egg cells are involved in the fusion with the male gamete and converting it into seeds and fruits. So these are the three major parts of female reproductive organs. What about male reproductive organs? There are two parts of male reproductive organs. You can see I have drawn this red colored pollens. These pollens are present in each flower. These are having two parts. One is anther. The red colored head which is seen is called an anther. This anther has two lobes. Lobes means two divisions. If I just want to separate it, I can separate it. Like you can see in the beans, it can be separated. Peas, it can be separated. That means it has two lobes. So anther is this pollen grain which we generally call as anther, and the stick-like structure or the filament, this is another part of the filament. These together are known as stamen. So this stamen is the male reproductive organ, and these three which are the female reproductive organ are coming under one word which is known as carpel. So carpel and stamen are the two parts of the flower which is involved in the sexual reproduction, I can say carpel, which is female reproductive organ It has three parts: stigma, style and ovary. So you can be asked the question, what is the name of female reproductive organ in a flower? So you will say it is called as carpel. And what are the various parts of the carpel? Various parts of carpel are stigma, style and ovary. Now what is stamen? Stamen is the male reproductive organ and it has two parts, which is anther and second is filament, which is very important. All these names you have to learn for 1 mark questions or 2 mark questions which can come. So carpel and the stamen are male and female reproductive organs which have different parts, and these parts each have a different function. Now we are left with petals and sepals. What is the function of petals? The function of petals, all petals in a flowers are very beautiful and colored. Now what can be the use of this color and what can be the use of such big huge petals? The petals are mainly attracting the insects toward them. Now why are they getting insects to be attracted? So that the pollination can take place. So major importance of petals is to attract insects towards it so that the pollination process can go on. And what is the use of sepal? Now every flower you will see that it is protected down by the green colored leaf like structure that is called as sepal. Now what is the importance of sepal? Sepal actually is protecting all the petals. When petals are 5 to 6 petals are there, it is called whorl of petals, WHORL, whorls of petal, and whorl of petals is protected by sepals. Now this sepal is green in color, that's why I have also made green in color. It is also involved in photosynthesis and it protects these flowers. When the flowers are first bud, that bud is protected by sepals. When this bud blooms or when this bud opens, the sepals also open. The sepals have three major functions. First, it is protecting the whorl of petals. Secondly, it is involved in the photosynthesis. And thirdly, it protects the flowers when it is in the bud form. So this is the importance of sepal. Now we have seen the longitudinal section of a flower showing all the parts of male and female reproductive organs. What is the function of petal? What is the function of sepal? That also we have seen in this part. Now there is a question on page 154. Blue box, two questions are there. What is the use of sepals and petals in the flower? As I told you just now, petals are for attracting the insects for pollination, and sepals are protecting the whorl of flowers, whorl of petals, and also protecting the bud. And thirdly, it involves in the photosynthesis. Second question, why do some flowers have attractive colors while some have good fragrance? Fragrance means smell. You can smell a lily, you can smell a rose, you can smell a champa, you can smell a chameli. All these flowers have different smells. Now these different smells and different colors are only for one thing, to attract the insects for pollination. Now we are talking about pollination. What is pollination? The pollination is the process of transfer of these pollen grains from the stamen to the stigma of the carpel. The process of transferring of these anther or the pollen grains from the stamen to the stigma is called as pollination. Simple. This is the male reproductive organ, this is the female reproductive organ. Now, male reproductive organ will give out male cell. Female reproductive organ, that is the ovary, is giving out female cell, that is the egg. It has to fuse. Now, fusion takes place inside. inside this female reproductive organ. Now this anther is somehow getting pollinated. Now what is pollination? I told you. What is pollination when it gets, what is the name of the pollination when it involves the same flower? That means if I talk of one flower and I say this anther is, or this pollen grain is falling on same stigma of the same flower, then it will be called as self-pollination. Self-pollination inside the same flower, or these type of flowers, number of flowers are there in one tree. One tree, number of flowers are there, but in one tree. So if the pollen grains of one flower falls on the other flower of the same tree, then also it is called as self-pollination. What is cross-pollination then? Now the name suggests it is not self, that means it must not be in the same flower or it must not be in the same tree. So what happens? There are some factors. If the insects or the water or the air which blows away the pollen grains, they blow away the pollen grains to some other flowers of the some species, then the cross-pollination happens. So there are the two types of pollination, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination happens in the same flower from the male to the female reproductive organ, or on the different flowers of same tree. But the cross-pollination happens due to one pollen grain, due to some reasons going on the some other stigma of some other species and then getting pollinated. This is called as cross-pollination. Now there is a question on page 154. In the absence of honeybees, the yield of sunflower goes down tremendously. Yield means produce. And why? Now honeybees, what do? They have a very important role to play in the environment. Honeybees collect the nectar part of each plant. Many attractive flowers, they go to the attractive flowers, fragrant flowers, and they collect nectar. When they collect nectar, in that process, they take the pollen grains from one flower to another flower, helping in the cross-pollination. And that is why the sunflower yield can increase. But in the absence of the honeybees, this may not happen. That's the reason that the yield of sunflower can go down. So this was about the pollination and the different parts of the one flower showing the female reproductive organ and the male reproductive organ. This was the first structure we have studied. Now we will study what is fertilization. Fertilization is nothing but the combination of male and female, or you can say the fusion of male cell and female cell to form a zygote. And this zygote further develops to form the complete organism. And we are going to learn next part is the fertilization. Now we saw pollination. As I said, pollination is a process of transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the female reproductive organs. Now what happens when the pollen grains come on the stigma? Now the fertilization process we are going to understand. Pollen grains with the help of pollination have come on the receptors of the female reproductive organs, and that receptor is called as stigma. Once the receptor takes the pollen grain, a tube starts forming there. This blue colored tube which I have made, this pollen tube is formed. So this is called as a pollen tube. The pollen tube, actually what is the role of pollen tube? The role of pollen tube is to take the male cells, male germ cells. That means each pollen grain gives out 2 male cells. And those 2 male cells I have shown here, they travel down the pollen tube till the ovary. So the tube is actually the carrier of the male cell which comes down and comes into the ovary. Now one of the male cell will fuse with the ovule inside. What is ovule? The ovule is a part inside the ovary which carries the egg or the female germ cell. So here one of the male cell will go and fuse with the ovule and that female germ cell which is called as ovule, and they form the zygote. That means the fusion of male and female happens here and they form a zygote. The second male cell comes and fuses with the secondary nucleus in the embryo. Now here the embryo sac, this is called the embryo sac. Inside there is another type of nucleus present which fuses with the second male cell and they form endosperm. So first fusion between the male cell and the female germ cell results in the formation of zygote. And the second male cell which comes down, it fuses with the secondary nucleus to form endosperm. Now this zygote, when it develops, it forms an embryo, and this secondary nucleus, when it fuses with the male cell, it forms an endosperm, and this endosperm is actually the nutrition for the developing embryo. This is how the fertilization takes place, or the germination of pollen grains take place on the stigma. Now what happens? Now here what is formed? The male cell fuses with egg or female cell forming zygote. Correct. Now this zygote will continue and the cell division will continue and it forms the embryo. And this embryo goes on dividing and forms the whole plant. So this is called as germination. Now how it happens? Now here the zygote continues to form the embryo will continue to form the radicle and the plumule, the radicle forms the root, the plumule forms the shoot, and this is called as germination. Now what happens of the ovules? The ovules are getting converted into seeds, and ovary as a whole after fertilization converts into fruits. So when we eat a fruit, we are eating the bulky thing, and that ovary bulky thing actually is formed from the secondary nucleus with the male cell which forms the endosperm, which is forming the fleshy part, and that fleshy part is the endosperm, and the ovules are converting into seeds after fertilization. So this is the whole process of germination of pollens on stigma, and this embryo continues to grow into a young seedling. Young seedling means it forms the radicle, it forms the plumule, and this whole process is called as germination of seed.